Everyone, Esther here from Esther-Astro-Healing. Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Today we're going to go over this very important week. Start from, actually I'm making this video today on Sunday, July 23rd. So we're going to go from Sunday to Sunday. There's a couple very important events happening this week. And one of the most important events was besides Mercury changed the position and going to conjunct Venus, which is really important, and other few things happening with Moon. We have very important day coming on Thursday. It's 9 of Av, Tisha B'Av. One of the most negative and most important day of the whole entire year is the day of Two Holy Temple was destroyed, and this is the day we start all the preparation starting on July 7th. If you remember, we start 21 day, 21 day, 3 weeks preparation for this particular day. I'm gonna explain a little bit more, and this whole week, it's really, we have few days left before Thursday, so to say, to put our act together inside of our own personal transformation. It says in ancient books, then every time when soul return to this dimension, to this limited reality, from my much, much higher place, from the place of full understanding how the creation works, where we're coming from, what is the mission. When soul ascend to this dimension, we literally remove all our spiritual memory in order for us to gain again our place to be part of the light. It says that we live in our physical body for only a few specific days for the whole entire year, because those specific cosmic opening, they the one who really make big changes and transformation, not just for ourselves, from our ancestral lineage. We need to remember every time when we're going through some difficulties and we have to overcome a lot of different adversaries and a lot of different oppositions and what we face in this lifetime. It's not just our karmic process, it's the whole entire family, the before us who came. They did a lot of work, all the difficulties they went through, all the light revelations, all the understanding of this creation. When we return to this dimension, we taken up on ourselves a few things from our family ancestral lineage. So this particular day's cosmic events like Tisha B'Av is the day when we really need to understand our own tree of life, our own family ancestral lineages. And there's a special prayers we're using for this day. I'm gonna leave a very, very powerful video. Teachings from 2018. I found this teaching one of the most transformative, and it's hopefully you will find the 40 minutes of your time, 40, and to be super focused, to really gain maximum benefit from this unbelievable wisdom and lessons done by Michael Burke. He is the son of my a beloved teacher, and he's himself really great Kabbalist and amazing soul who continued the work of his ancestral lineage, of his lineage of righteous people. So it's really, really important lesson. I personally returning to these lessons every year, and this year I decide really to share with you. If you're new to Kabbalah, perhaps some terminology is going to be foreign to you, but I strongly recommend still to keep to persevere and listen to this video to the end. You will understand why. Because after this video, if you really give yourself permission to let your mind not to bombard with different thoughts and to reject, certain information and just to let it in, it's my promise to you, your life will change forever. You will gain so much new level of appreciation, everything what you have around you, including and most important your own soul. Then you just will see completely different reality. Everything you will touch, everything you will eat, you will feel completely different energy. Okay, so I'm really exciting for all of us to to be part, to have a merit in this lifetime, to be part of this unbelievable wisdom, which has really come directly from the source, from highest of the highest. Now, let's continue on astrological side. Let me show you what's happened this week, day by day. So you will have a little bit more awareness, and so to have better week, because with with the awareness, the wisdom can be activated, and therefore it can improve our life. Now, today we have July 23rd. It's Sunday, and the sun right now in the moon in the quartal period since last week, new moon. We need to as well to pay attention. Then Sun still only in 6 degree in Cancer. So by the way, Mazal Tov and happy birthdays to all the amazing Cancerian people. You, the social workers of the world. The world need you, need your love, need your kindness. It's really important. Yes, you heard me right. It's not Leo. It's Sun still in Cancer, because I do not practice Western astrology. Remember, Western astrology deal with the seasons. I deal directly with the sky, with the astrological bodies. So you can see my arrow, you can see where the sun is. So why it's important to notice, because the sun have beside him Leo, and Leo we're going to get most important three very important astrological bodies, which is directly affect each of us on a personal level, because it's inner planet, right? It's not like outer planet. So it's really important. And sun, definitely, with all the sensitivity and open heart, will feel a little bit uh, intense energy coming from the Leo, from what's going on here, and we will go day by day. So this Sunday we have Moon in Virgo, and you can see the beautiful Venus. She started her retrograde yesterday afternoon on Shabbat, while Moon was touching face of Virgo. It's beautiful. Now, one thing I just want to warn you guys, because Moon was touching face of Virgo, a lot of people will really want to make some dramatic changes the way how they look. Do not proceed with any medical and surgical intervention, because it's not good period of time when Venus retrograde. 99.9% you will regret. So just do really minor, really small things, what you usually do, and don't do anything dramatic. Even when you decide to cut your hair, on more dramatic way, I wouldn't do it. You will regret after. Just, even though of course it will grow, but this is not the period of time to make big changes, anything connect to the Venus. So just keep in mind, including our money can be as well a little bit tricky. We'll actually specifically will have more desire to make changes if you invest in your investing world and everything. So just really stay low profile, or take really good advice from people who you trust. So let's move forward from July 23rd. Let's go to 24th, which is we have Monday. So a lot of things going on this day. First of all, we have Moon still continue to be in Virgo, and she's in a position. You see, 24 degree, but she's in a position with Jupiter, even though it's 18 degree. So still, it's a positive day from the emotional state, because when Moon in Virgo, she's not overwhelmed with emotions. She's really practical, which is good for the Moon. And as well, we have on Mercury really preparing his entry to Leo on this particular day. So let's move to 25th, which is Tuesday. So Tuesday on 25th. Look what's happening here. We have finally Mercury moved to Leo. And now we have three planets, very, very important planets. They all in Leo. And we need to right away pay attention what's happening in opposition. We do have um, Saturn in a position. So what it's mean? I'm going to take you a little bit to the bigger picture. When we have those very, very important planets in one sign like Leo, which is sign of tremendous energy, but sign of the pride, right? We always need to understand what is the klipa, what is the negative shelf, the traits of character of Leo. It's pride, which is really, really hard to work on it, because the pride come with a lot of stubbornness. It's really hard when you're really using your pride as a main your source for your understanding of this world. So you really will receive a lot of opposition with that. Now, because we have a Saturn in opposition, every sign which is represented by planet, for example, we have a planet Mars, who we have representative by Mars. Mars represent Scorpio and represent Aries. So for you, Scorpion Aries, you have to really pay close attention at least until September, September 4th, before Venus is going to change position. You're going to be challenged by Saturn. So you really need to check what is your homework with Saturn. You remember the videos I made for 12 sign for the Saturn, when Saturn moved to Aquarius, and especially Saturn being challenged by Rahu all this period of time as well. So we need to not even challenged by Rahu, but they communicate with the Rahu, Saturn and Rahu, right? So what we need to remember on this period of time, we need to understand the lessons. I'm just giving you a really, really deep and important tip for you to understand the lessons of Saturn. Same thing with Venetian people. So Taurus and Libras. For you as well, it's going to be a little bit difficult period of time in the sense of if you're not working with universe and you're doing anything, so to say, not kosher, according to law of creation, you're going to receive right away effect from it. And what about Mercury? We're talking about Virgo, and we're talking about Gemini. So all those signs who represent by those planets, they will receive very important lessons, and they're going to be almost like to say under special loop from Saturn. So just pay attention to Saturn and understand the lessons of Saturn. Now, the 25th, we have Moon moved in Libra. Moon in Libra, she's a little bit needy, but she's good. She's looking for peace and balance while she tried to make everyone happy and a little bit, and looking for some kind of approval as well from other people. But otherwise, it's really beautiful, a moon. This moon, I love this moon. And she doesn't, she has a 7 degree, she has an opposition. What's happening here, by the way, one thing I want us to pay attention, because moon almost in a perfect conjunction with the Ketu, which is represent our past life, our past life lessons. It's a karmic position. So this is good day in the morning to have a meditation, to, when you understand what is really Ketu and how many messages on the emotional level it can open for us, we should use this window opportunity to come back to certain lessons we already received this lifetime on emotional level especially, and to understand what you need to work, because this potentially this day on 25th, some of us can be challenged. What else? And Mercury enters Leo and it's getting closer to Venus, right? So eventually Mars, that as well will have the whole conversation. Three of them is going to be the whole party, but Saturn definitely will pay close attention everything what's happened there. Let's move to 26, because Mercury will be quinces on Neptune in Leo and Pisces, and it's really, really important as well on 26. Let's go to 26. So we have a Mercury quince Neptune. We have a Neptune over here. We have Neptune in Aries. And what's happened this particular time, make sure you separate illusion from intuition. Okay, intuition from illusion, very important. Now, Moon still in Libra. She already moved a little bit from Ketu, which is great. So otherwise, everything for now remain the same. There's nothing really we need to worry about. Let's go and Wednesday. So Wednesday night, we're gonna start, we're gonna prepare for receiving very, very important cosmic energy from Tisha B'Av. Again, I'm gonna make completely separate video every year. I'm making this video this year. This year I will make video with partially with video from my teacher Rav Berg. Unbelievable information can help you. And again, just remember, guys, all the body restrictions require on Tisha B'Av, like we don't eat, we don't wear shoes which is made from real leather, because what is leather? Leather, it's can draw you down to gravity even more. It's a malchut, and it's represent really tremendous energy of the animal where it came from. So we don't wear any shoes on 25 hours of Tisha B'Av, right? No sex. We don't eat, we don't drink, we only, there's a lot of, we read special Megillah Echad, we read special Torah reading, and it's all coming from the tree of life reality. This particular day, you nourish your whole ancestral lineage, at least 28 generations of your ancestral lineages. Just think about, guys, how how much we loved and been taken care of, then Creator create for us such a cosmic opening when He's actually giving us opportunity to activate the DNA of Creator, which is we have inside of our heart. This is the days, all other days we live and we work, it's for this particularly cosmic opening. I always use this terminology to compare is in Olympics. The Olympics only once in 4 years, and a person who prepare for Olympics for 4 years is prepared just for one moment. And we have those moments, few moments, cosmic opening, right? And don't forget the 21 days, which is will complete on a Wednesday night, is the 21 holidays. When you combine all the cosmic holidays, Kabbalistic holidays, we have like a Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shavuot, Pesach, Passover, everything combined 21 days. We went through the intense time in order for us to come to the moment. And it says, this is the day which is the final redemption. Messiah, the DNA of Messiah will be born on the day. Okay, so it's quite significant. So I really want us to be prepared for it. Let's move next. Now we move into the Thursday, July 27. This is the day of Jupiter, and this is the day which is we're going to have the Tisha B'Av. What do we have there? We have a Rahu trines Mercury, and Mercury queens Pluto at the same time. So it's not definite, especially when Mercury queens Pluto, something going to happen on the um, political level. Each country politician will go through some kind of challenge and illusion. They may hopefully not going to make any serious decision on Thursday, because Thursday is not the day to make decision, but because the Pluto will challenge Mercury, they will make decisions on the day. You will see this something. Few countries will come out, the leaders of these countries will come out with some kind of financial decisions, in livelihood decisions, not going to be positive for people. This is why when we're going to pray on these days, we need to pray for the leaders. One of the mistakes most of the people make when they speak badly about the leaders, they never occur to them, why don't you pray for the soul? Because soul has nothing to do with the mind reality. The all reflection of the people of the country they represent. So make no mistake, each of our leaders who represent our country, our collective consciousness born them, create them in a sense. So instead to wish them to, God forbid, not to live anymore, or something bad happened to them, why don't you pray for their souls and send them a lot of love and energy? Because just you cannot create light with darkness. The way how to remove darkness only with the love. So this is like a basic understanding of creation. Okay, just wanted to remind you guys. Now, what else do we have here? Let's move, and we have Moon moving to Scorpio. Now, right away, I'm gonna give you heads up. Start from Thursday night and Friday, because Moon gonna be in Scorpio. She's gonna be in. She's going to feel a little bit heavy. Why? Because we're going to have Saturn will have a opposition, and Saturn will start to get even more energy to activate the energy in opposition. So I would say I will recommend on the Friday to really to stay away from any conflicts and don't create a new movie inside of us. Because remember, Scorpions, what they do, because they're such investigators. First of all, it's one of the signs I absolutely love. Right away, I'm telling you. I'm not saying Scorpio, it's the most devoted people. The energy of Scorpio, it's part of the Mashiach, final redemption. It says in Talmud, in Sefer Yezirah, in many ancient books, when we, each of us, know how to transform the energy of Scorpio, because each of us have in our chart Scorpio on certain position, by transforming the energy of Scorpio, what it's mean transforming a transformation of Scorpio. Scorpio doesn't have central column energy. It's black and white, life and death. And it's a sign of 8th house of transformation in Pluto. But when we know how to balance between the right and left, and we get into the central column energy, which is Tiferet, and as well, Yesod, which is Tiferet, we have Yaakov, who get name Israel, when he completely balanced left and right center column energy. And then it's connected to Yosef, Joseph the righteous, because of the Yesod. When we gain to this position, we or we know how to use the energy of Scorpio, this is another way to come closer to the final redemption and to remove pain and suffering. But again, I really recommend for you to stick around and to watch the video of Michael Berg. This video is so powerful. I personally initially watched 4 times. It's actually recommend powerful and for important wisdom information to learn at least 4 times. And I think I explained in a few of my videos before. I will give you the insight information. When Moses was receiving each time receiving information directly from Creator, when he was receiving Torah is the tree of life, right? It's not just any Bible book, it's a life organism. Every time when he was received, it's need to go through 4 phases, four four levels. So first Moses, then Aaron, his brother, after Aaron, the head of the tribes, and after head of the tribes, people receive. So every time it's need to go four phases in order to resonate in our dimension. So same thing with wisdom. If you have important wisdom and you know one really resonate with you, spend your time, make notes, listen today, and then the other day again. You're always going to get something new, which is only can improve your life. Okay, guys, it's just my recommendation. So, and don't forget Friday. It's always awesome day. It's the preparation for Shabbat. Most of us, we're preparing this day, we dedicate most of the day, for cooking, the prepare house, our consciousness, the study. It's really important for the soul to give this opportunity. And then we move into Shabbat. We have July 29, very, very important day. July 29, we have moon, which is Shabbat, but moon touching basically very close to Sabik, and it's a stink of Scorpio. This day, on a global level, it is possible then people who have already negative traits, they're more using the other negative side, not really activating the what they came to activate, the light of Creator. They will have a desire to do something behind the scene which is not positive. So we need to pray again. But Shabbat taking over everything. And Shabbat represented by Saturn, in Hebrew Shabtai. And this is why on this particular day, if we do our spiritual work, we super focus. We only connect to goodness on Shabbat. We have a positive conversations, want to grow spiritually. This is what really Saturday Shabbat was given to us. Then all the opposition of Saturn will let you have much better week. You will understand the lessons not as something difficult and bad. Difficult, it's not bad. Difficult, it's just showing you have opportunity to grow, right? It's like you're going to the gym. Without resistance, your muscle group can grow. And next level, it's not just resistance, how to surprise your muscles, right? Because it's good to change the, consistency of your routine when you exercise. Same thing here for our spiritual growth. Our soul constantly need, when some surprises come, they're not going to find you disabled. They're going to find you, then you prepare and you're strong enough to handle and to transform through those period of time. Okay. And what else I didn't mention to you? Actually, on 30th and 31, even though I'm jumping further, when moon will be in Sagittarius, and while the Jupiter getting really strong, I'm going to make separate video on Jupiter. It's actually going to be a really positive week. So really on July 30th, which is Sunday, and then Monday, it's actually really positive days because the moon's going to be in good position. She's, when moon in Sagittarius, she's in good mood. She's looking for good qualities. She's communicating with Jupiter because the Jupiter represents Sagittarius. So it's actually a quite positive day, but a lot of other things going to happening. I'm going to prepare next video next week. Okay. Now, just to remind you guys, because we have, by the way, I think I missed to show you when really, let's see what day we have. Okay. This is the day, which is Thursday, Tisha B'Av, very important day for understanding relationship. We have a Mercury conjunct Venus. And she's because we're going to be super focused and dedicate our energy and our thoughts and our souls, everything to understand, to elevate ourselves on this particular day. So this is the good day as well to understand your what is really relationship represent for you, and what lessons you want to use this cosmic opening like inside of you. How, what is the forgiveness for you? Forgiveness, what is really appreciation for you? Very important. Okay. Okay, guys, so let's move to the next video. Thank you so much for all your emails, for your support. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and as well, please share. Share with your family members, share with anyone who you think can help and improve their life, and therefore we can have better society and a better future for our children and ourselves. All the best. Bye bye.
In this week's portion, we have a blessing that Moses gives to the Israelites. And of course, we know whenever something like that is mentioned in the Torah, it awakens a source of blessings for all of us forever. And so we want to understand, and there is great discussion amongst the Kabbalists, the details of these blessings, because Moses actually gives two separate blessings. It says that Moses gives his own blessing to the Israelites, because we know Dvarim, the book of Dvarim, is the book where Moses is basically giving his last teachings to the Israelites before he leaves this physical world. And he's giving them a blessing. He gives them his own blessing, and then he says, Yosef Hashem alechem kachem elef pamim. That the Creator should double by 1,000 the blessings that are given to you. And what the Kabbalist explains, Moses is saying, I'm giving my blessing. I also awaken that the light of the Creator give you separately 1,000 times this blessing. Why did Moses choose 1,000? What does it mean when he asks that the light of the Creator blesses them 1,000-fold? And as the Kabbalists point out, if the Creator, if he is able to awaken for the Creator to bless them 1,000-fold, then what's the point of his own blessing? And what does it mean really to be blessed 1,000-fold? For instance, does it mean a person who has, $100 now will have $100,000? Does it mean the person who has, one child will now have 1,000 children? What does it really mean? What is the internal spiritual secret of the concept of 1,000 times of all of our blessings? And as we will come to understand, this is not just a interesting question. It actually has very practical spiritual implications. It actually leads us to what is hopefully a new appreciation, inspiration, desire in our spiritual work. So I want to first, it's interesting, this week we know it was the day of elevation of the ARI, Rabbi Zaklura, which means that we have a deeper connection to the ARI in this week. It means that the teachings of the ARI, the light of the ARI shines probably 1,000 times greater than the rest of the year. And it's not coincidental that as I was studying this week's portion, not necessarily focusing on the teachings of the ARI, all the teachings that I was reading were directing me back to the teachings of the ARI. So it's interesting, we're going to share 3 teachings from different Kabbalists, one of them directly from the ARI, the other 2 from great Kabbalists who are explaining the teachings of the ARI. So again, I believe it's not coincidental that the Creator has directed us this week to be studying from the teachings of the ARI. And as I said, this teaching, the first of which is an important fundamental understanding of the power, the beauty, the importance of both the spiritual study and the spiritual work, and as we will come to see, hopefully a new type of meditation, consciousness that we use in all of our spiritual work. So the first teaching is from the Maggid of Mezrich. Many of us know there was a great Baal Shem Tov, his main student was the Maggid of Mezrich, and he explains a teaching from the ARI. The ARI says the following. It seems to be mathematical. He says when you look at we know that there's basically 5 worlds that intervene between what's called the endless world, where there's no end. The Tzimtzum, most of us know, was when the light of the Creator, the vessel, said, I want to earn this light, all the light left. And then began a process of what's called creation. That process of creation, in a weird way, is actually a process of diminishment, right? Because in the endless world, there was everything. After the Tzimtzum, there was nothing. And then began to be light that is even less than there was in the endless world. So even though usually when we think of creation, we think of addition, actually what we come to understand is that the process of creation is actually a process of diminishment, of less and less and less. It's important that we understand that. So, the ARI says that if you thinking mathematically about the worlds. We know that there's the world of Adam Kadmon, the first world, the world that is called Keter. And the ARI often says we don't even talk too much about it because it is so beyond our being, it is therefore so far beyond our consciousness. We really often refer to the bottom four worlds. The world of Atzilut, which is the world of Chokhmah, the world of Bria, which is the world of Binah, the world of Yezirah, which is the world of Zeir Anpin, and the world of Asiyah, which is the world of Malchut. So there's 5 worlds, yes, we know, but Adam Kadmon, the first, the primordial man, the world of Keter is really not one that we interact with so much, not one that we speak of so much. We often speak of the bottom 4, and really the bottom 3, which is where most of our lives are lived. But there's Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah, the 4 levels of Chokhmah, Binah, Zeir Anpin, and Malchut, and the worlds that correspond to them. The physical world within which we reside is at the bottom of the world of Asiyah, at the bottom of the world of Malchut. And ARI says that if you want to talk mathematically about the worlds, the singular digits 1 through 9 reside in the world of Asiyah. The world of Yetzirah is tens. So instead of 1, it's 10. Instead of 2, it's 20, and so on. The world of Bria is hundreds. So instead of 1, 100. Instead of 2, 200. The world of Atzilut is thousands. So instead of 1, 1,000. Instead of 2, 2,000. So if you wanted to do a mathematical pyramid, but now hopefully we'll understand the beauty of it. If you simply wanted to do a mathematical pyramid of the 4 worlds, Asiyah, Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah, you would be in an inverted pyramid, where in the bottom you have 1, then you have 100, then you have 10, then you have 100, then you have 1,000. So it's really, that's the way the worlds came into being. But ARI uses the numerical values. But what's the secret behind it? So the Maggid Mezrich explains this teaching from the ARI. When the creator, the desire was awakened to create the world, the worlds were not capable to take in, to be able to receive the endless light, the totality of the light of the creator. And therefore there had to be the process of removal, tzimtzum, or constriction, lessening of the light. Now most of us know, those of us who've studied from the ARI, that we refer to 2 tzimtzumim, 2 times that the light was sent away. One, the first one, when Malchut said, take all the light away, I want to earn it all. And the second one is a process called Shvirat HaKelim, but basically another time that the light was taken away. But what the Maggid Mezrich is saying is that in essence, all the process of creation was tzimtzum. Every time a new world is created, it's a diminishment from before. And diminishment means a constriction of the light, which means that if you look at not just the global tzimtzum as it's referred to, the one time when the vessel said take away all the light, but really every time in the process of creation that we study about, is it one diminishment after another diminishment after another diminishment. So if you look at the 4 worlds, Atzilut has more light. What is Bria? Bria is simply, and that's why the word Olam, which is the literal translation of the word world, Rav Asher explains the word Olam comes from the Hebrew word He'elem, or the concealment of. Because really what happens is from Atzilut to Bria, the only difference is that there's less light. There's more he'elem, there's more concealment of light in Bria than there was in Atzilut. There's more concealment of light in Yetzirah than there was in Bria. There's more concealment of light in the world of Asiyah than in the world of Yetzirah. So really, in essence, the entire process of creation, the Maggid is telling us, is a process of diminishment, is a process of tzimtzum. V'lefi and therefore, kol shehu yoter rachok mehashoresh, every world, every being, every speck of light that is further away from the source, further away from the endless, habehirut bo yoter b'tzimtzum. The amount of light, the amount of connection, the amount of fulfillment is obviously always diminished the further you get away from the source, the further you get away from the endless world. And of course, we're not talking about physical space, we're talking about spiritual state. And everything that's closer to the source, everything that's closer to the endless world, the light shines there more greatly. Because the purer the vessel, the closer it is to the endless world because of its purity, the more light it is capable of receiving. And this is the secret of the numbers. And by the way, and again, I've spoken a lot, and every week I see another amazing thing that science or mathematics is coming to understand, that really the Kabbalists have been talking about for thousands and hundreds of years. This, by the way, if you have the time, there's a lot written about the concept, but really by studying the ARI, you get insight into the world of mathematics. But for the purpose of our understanding, he explains, when we talk about numbers, the singular digit numbers, 1 through 9, actually reside in the world of Asiya. מה שבעולם התחתון הוא א', בעליון ממנו הוא 10, כי יש בו יותר בהירות, וכן במאות. So we talked about that inverted pyramid before, where in the world of Asiya, you have 1, let's say. In the world of Yetzirah, it would be that same 1 is a 10. In the world of Bria, that same 10 is 100. In the world of Atzilut, that same 100 is 1,000. But they're all attached. They're all the same light. It's just that it is allowed to be revealed less in the world of Asiya, a little bit more in the world of Yetzirah, a little bit more in the world of Bria, and a little bit more in the world of Atzilut. So 1 and 10 and 100 and 1,000 are really of the same essence, but really they are residing, in the higher realm. And by residing in a higher realm, it allows what is concealed in Asiya to be revealed in Yetzirah. So really, what is the number 1? The number 1 is really at least 1,000. But while it's residing in the limited world of Asiya, it must be concealed to only 1 of 10 of its strength, or 1 of 100ths of its strength, or 1/1000th of its strength. So what that means, and again, I hope this isn't getting too complicated, but it's beautiful, and it's important to understand the details. Let's assume you're holding a blessing, right? So this blessing is water in this physical world. This water is manifested in this physical world, which means that it has an essence of 1, of the singular. But it is also attached to the world of Yetzirah, because all the worlds are attached, all the lights are attached. So the real essence of this water is actually 10 times whatever this is. 10 times the amount of sustenance, 10 times the amount of light, 10 times of everything that this is. It actually is 100 times. It actually is 1,000 times. That if I was able to see the essence of this water as it resides in the world of Atzilut, I would see this water 1,000 times more. Now, does it mean simply 1,000 times more of this water? Maybe. Does it mean, more importantly, whatever light is in here, I would experience it 1,000 times more. You take a sip of this water, whatever pleasure you get, that actually, the real essence of the pleasure you're supposed to experience is at least 1,000 times more than you're experiencing. And of course, we're using water that most people, I don't know if necessarily cause them enjoyment, but of course, we're talking about all the blessings that exist in this world that you enjoy. Everything that you are, even spiritual wisdom. Let's say you're sitting here now and you're experiencing some pleasure from this teaching. We are experiencing it, assuming you're experiencing it in the world of Asiya. Really, that same light, fulfillment, wisdom you're feeling is 1,000 times greater than you're experiencing it, because in the realm of Atzilut, it actually exists, that same teaching, exactly 1,000 times more. So what we will come to understand, so how do we start feeling that, not just the 1, but first we have to understand the basics. And the basics is that 1 is what is manifest in the world of Asiya, 10 in Yetzirah, 100 in Bria, 1,000 in Atzilut. The same thing, not 10 more blessings, not 100 more blessings, not 1,000 more blessings. The same blessing revealed 1,000-fold, revealed 100-fold, revealed 10-fold, revealed in its singular form in this physical world, the world of Asiya. מה שבעולם התחתון הוא 1, what is in the world of Asiya, in the lower world 1, בהעליון ממנו הוא 10, in the higher realm, in the world of Yetzirah, it's actually 10. כי יש בו יותר בהירות. It's not that it's a different blessing, it's just allowed to be revealed more. וכן במאות, and so in the world of Bria it's 100, in the world of Atzilut it's 1,000. And this is the secret, שמה שיש בעולם יש לו שורש בהעליון ממנו, כמותו, להמשיך לו שפע וחיות. And it's important to understand, everything exists like this. When it says in the Talmud, and Rav Ashlag often quotes this, and we've spoken about different secrets based on this teaching, that there is not a blade of grass that exists in this world, it says, that does not have an angel above that tells it to grow. So a few weeks ago, Rav Ashlag revealed one of the secrets from the 10 luminous emanations of that phrase. Now the Maggid message is teaching us another secret of that phrase. What it means, we'll use the example of water because it's sitting here on the table. So this water is existing in its singular form, in the world of Asiya, in its 1/1000th realm of revelation. The essence of this water, the light, the energy of this water, exists in the world of Atzilut 1,000 times more. Now, that light, that source, it's called an angel, but it's not really an angel, it's that energy, is pushing this water. Reveal yourself 1,000 times more. But the water is answering, no, but I'm here in this world, and everybody looking at me only sees me as one. I can't yet. But the angel is pushing. The source, which is called the angel in the Talmud, is pushing it. Revealed 1,000 times who you are. By the way, this is true. By the way, I spoke about this last Rosh Hashanah. Right, when it says, Hakaton yeh la'elef. Let's talk about us. Each one of us, it says in the prophecy that what's Mashiach, what brings us at least towards the revelation of the light of the Creator, when one person becomes 1,000 strong. Why? Now we understand. Because what's happening right now is that my soul, my essence, is sitting constricted in this physical world, in this physical body, and it's feeling. Can you imagine if you're, 1,000-pound person and you're constricted to a box that only holds a 1-pound person, right? Very uncomfortable. But that's what's happening to every single one of us. Our soul, which is 1,000 times greater than this world allows it to be, than we are allowing it to be, is being pushed. It's not just that it knows, oh, I have the potential. There actually is that force, that world of Atzilut, that 1,000 times force is actually telling you every day, your soul every day, look what you're supposed to be. It says, Makebo ve'omer lo gedal. It's hitting it. What is hitting? It doesn't mean it's physically being beaten, but it's being shown, listen, this is what you are. This is the real essence, that you reside in Atzilut. That's your real essence. Look where you are now. You're in the world of Asiyah. You're constricted to this little 1-pound box. And that's the secret. It's a beautiful secret. And again, this is the secret of that verse, as we said, that the angel that is hitting, it's the source of this light, that it's 1,000 times greater than who I am now. That's us. That's every blessing that we have. How many times, chas v'shalom, you see a person who, has a penny in his pocket, $1 in his pocket, $100 in his pocket, but he needs 10 times more than 100 times more, 1,000 more. But I hope we begin to understand is that exists. So when you hold the dollar bill, at least you're holding $1,000. If you find the way, and this is what B'ezrat Hashem is time to get to the next point, which is, if you can connect to Yetzirah, you can find a miracle to make that not a miracle anymore. You can reveal that $1 as $10. If you can connect to the world of Bria, you can make that $1 $100. If you can connect to the world of Atzilut, you can reveal the essence of that $1, which is really $1,000. Again, using the example of money in this case, but it's really about everything. Everything, because now that we understand the secret of the world's 1, 10, 100, and 1,000, and the fact that there is this force from the world of Atzilut, this is the angel that is hitting on us, on every blessing that exists. So if you look at all the blessings you have in your life, really what's going on is you have painful blessings. They're in pain. All of our blessings, your soul is in pain, your blessings are in pain. If you keep them in the world of Asiyah, they're only revealing at least 1/1,000th of what they are in the world of Atzilut. They're blessings in pain. The next step, of course, will be, how do we allow them to be revealed? We'll talk about that. But first we have to understand. וכמו שקודם בריאת העולמות היה הוא לבדו יתברך אור אין סוף ולא היו יכולים העולמות להתהוות, and just like before the process of creation there was only the endless light in the endless world and the worlds could not come into being, כי לא היו יכולים לסבול האור אין סוף, because they could not handle the great light of the endless world, והוכרח להיות הצמצום מפאת המקבלים, and therefore the light had to be constricted because the receivers were not capable to receive the totality of light. ובצמצום הראשון עדיין לא היו יכולים העולמות התחתונים לקבל מפני הבהירות הגדול. And when the light was constricted from the endless world to Adam Kadmon, from Adam Kadmon even to Atzilut, it still is too great for most people who reside, most vessels, people, souls who reside in the world of Asiyah to be able to receive. And therefore, הוכרח להיות דרך כלל ד' צמצומים. There had to be 4 constrictions of the light, one after the other, שהם ד' עולמות הביאה הידועים עד שבא לכלל העולם הזה. The worlds of Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah, as we said, a process of constricting the light one after the other until this world of Asiyah. So now hopefully we have clarity on this secret, that what does it mean when the ARI tells us that the world of Asiyah is 1, the world of Yetzirah is 10, the world of Bria is 100, the world of Atzilut is 1,000? That's the essence. It's not that there's more in the world of Yetzirah than the world of Asiyah. It's just that the same thing that exists, constricted in the world of Asiyah, and it only shows itself to be one, in the realm of Yetzirah becomes 10. That same 10 that is constricted in the world of Yetzirah, if it's allowed to connect to its truer essence in the world of Bria, it becomes 100. That same 100, if it's allowed to be connected to its truer essence in the world of Atzilut, becomes 1,000. How do you do that? So it related, those of you who were with us for the connection on Hei B'Av, we shared, again, what I think is a beautiful, inspiring teaching from the ARI, and again, it shines so much greater this week, so it's important, exciting for us to be able to read these words. Because the question we want to answer, if we want to understand is, okay, so how do I get there? I want not to be 1, I want to be 10. I want not to be 10, I want to be 100. I want not to be 100, I want to be 1,000. I want my soul to be able to expand in the way that it's being hit every day to do. I want every blessing in my life. I want every dollar in my life to become $1,000. I want every child that I have to become 1,000 times greater than that. Hakaton yela elef. That's the purpose of the spiritual work. Everything should become 1,000 times greater, at least. Going back to this is the blessing of Moses, right? So this is the Shabbat that this secret and this power is revealed. Yosef Hashem alechem kachem elef pa'amim. Why did Moses say, you become 1,000? Each one of you has to become 1,000. He's telling us what the purpose of the spiritual work is. He doesn't just give you a blessing. Oh, you have $1,000. I wanted you to have $1 million. I want, that's the way, unfortunately, most people read that sentence, read that verse. Moses being such a kind person, giving blessings to the Israelites. No. What he's doing is awakening within every single one of us the understanding of what is the purpose of the spiritual work, which means that if you're not feeling, for instance, this is a real test of spiritual development, if from your connection, if from your blessings, both physical and spiritual, you are not experiencing a growth from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100, from 100 to 1,000, then you're probably not on the proper spirit, or at least using the tools as they should be used. Because Moses tells us, Yosef Hashem alechem kachem elef pa'amim. If you're doing the spiritual work, the purpose of the spiritual work is to allow the essence of your blessings to grow from 1 to 10 to 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. At least the way the essence of these blessings and you are revealed in the world of Atzilut is what you need to be manifesting in your life. But how do you do that? How do you do that? So the ARI, in the Shar Ma'amarei Razal, in the gates of the teachings of the sages, says the following. As I said, just these words, if you read them over and over and over again, hopefully will give the impetus, the desire, the awakening, the strength to grow in this way. This whole section is beautiful, filled with secrets. Really what the ARI is doing here is revealing the secret of what's called kfitzat haderech. How can you jump in space? We know that the sages, the Kabbalists, had that ability. If they wanted to go from here in New York to Israel, they could do it in not even a second, no time, because in the real essence of things, even science knows this now, time and space are not the barriers that we think that they are. Again, beautiful. I won't mention the books that I've mentioned all these past few weeks again and again, but this, what the Kabbalists have been teaching, is now completely accepted by science. But this whole section speaks about how one can attain even physical jumping of space. But that's not where we want to focus our understanding. But if you do have the time, I do recommend reading this whole section. Because what he's talking about here is how do you jump from level to level, which is now we understand the important part of the spiritual work. If I find the way to go from Asiyat in my essence to Yetzirah, then I am able to make myself grow 10 times. I'm able to make my blessings grow 10 times. והעניין הוא, and the idea is, כי הלא האדם הוא בעל חומר בצורה וגס ועב. Each one of us, unfortunately, while contained within the body, and the body isn't the physical body necessarily, but the constriction of what's called the desire to receive for the self alone, the ego, selfishness, all actions that are only selfish, they create a weight upon the soul. Why can't I go from Asiyat to Yetzirah? Why can't I right now? Who doesn't want, I want every blessing that I have. I want myself to be 10 times more powerful. Why can't I do that now? Very simple. Your soul can do it. But what you've done is you've put so much weight through actions of selfishness, of desire to receive for the self alone, of ego on your soul, that it's held back from being able to go to Yetzirah and make your blessings 10 times greater. It's held back from going to the world of Bria and making your blessings grow 100 times more. Being held back from going to the world of Atzilut and growing 1,000 times more. ולכן and therefore, אם ירצה האדם לקפוץ Shiur yoter mima shebetivo. If you want to jump, and now we understand what's the importance of jumping. Why do I want to find a way to jump to a higher spiritual realm? Why do I want to find a way to jump to the world of Yetzirah? Because I want my essence, my power, my spiritual ability, my physical abilities to become 10 times more. And I need that. We all need that. That's why we're in this world. We're in this world to jump out of the world of Asiyah to the world of Yetzirah. But the ARI said very simply, the desire to receive for the self alone, the ego, all those actions keep weighing down your soul, not allowing it to jump. You, not allowing you to jump. So therefore he says, if you want to jump more than your natural abilities, lo yale beyado. You can't. And the only reason you can't jump is the weight of the ego, the weight of the desire to receive for the self alone, the weight of the selfish actions that any of us do. If not for that weight, you have to know this. The soul would be able to jump wherever it wants. I want to jump to Atzilut, which means that I want my essence to become 1,000 times greater. I want my blessing to become 1,000 times better. I could do that without the weight that I have put upon my soul. It has that ability. It has that power to jump. He uses the example of this is what the angels do. The angels are able, without the weight of the selfishness, of the desire to receive for the self alone, they can go from world to world and become greater and smaller. Ha'adam hu sulam kol ha'olamot. Man, each one of us, is the ladder of all the world, which means we have within us invested all the parts of the world. V'kosher kol ha'olamot, and we bind together all the worlds, from Asiyah all the way to Atzilut. Ki yesh bo guf mibchinat ha'olam hazeh. The body and the body consciousness, the ego, comes from the world of that world of Asiyah. The mind that is able to think beyond the body, that is able to think in spiritual manners, comes from the higher worlds. The ruach, the spirit, that part that is able to animate us and push us and inspire us to grow, comes from the higher realms. V'neshama min hakiseh, and the soul comes from the world of Bria. And the soul of the soul, the real essence of the soul, comes from the higher realm, from the realm of Chokhmah. Now, through this binding together of all the parts of us that come from the world of Asiyah all the way to the world of Atzilut, we should have the ability to jump, because we are connected already to the world of Atzilut. We are connected already to the world of Bria. We are connected already to the world of Yetzirah. And then he goes on to explain how you do it. By the way, he's explaining here not just how you do it spiritually, he's explaining how you do it physically. But I want to focus on where we began. We learned that the secret of Moses' blessing is not so much a blessing, but a directive and a promise that I can grow at least 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more in all areas. Hakatoni Elelef, I can be 1,000 times stronger. My blessings can be 1,000 times greater. And then the ARI tells us, you have to jump. That's really why we're in this world, to fly and to jump. But it is the physicality, the desire to receive for the self alone, the ego, that is holding us back. Obviously, that would mean that the purpose of the spiritual work, why do I, for instance, today open up the Zohar and study? Because I want to invest the part of me that flies, the part of me that jumps, with the strength to jump. That's why I read Zohar. Why, when I woke up this morning, why did I make my morning connection? Because I want to give the part of me that jumps, the part of me that can fly from the world of Asiyah to the world of Yetzirah to the world of Bria to the world of Atzilut. And most of us know that the ARI revealed to us that the entire process of the morning connection is you go from one world to the next. Now, most of us probably just think of these as words, but really what's happening is that through the morning connection and through the Zohar, you can actually jump. You have to have this consciousness. You have to understand why you want to jump. Why is it important to me when I open up the Zohar, if I'm residing, and I know most of us are, unfortunately, in the realm of Asiyah, today was a day of selfishness, desire to receive of the self alone. Why, when I open up the Zohar, what's my consciousness? What's my desire? The ARI tells me that I can jump. The ARI tells me that my soul has the ability to fly up to Yezirah, up to Bria, up to Atzilut. And for what purpose? For the purpose of from there being able to expand my blessings 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. That's why we do the spiritual work. The spiritual work is to invest the parts of us, the what's called the nefesh hasiklita, the thinking mind and the soul, give it the strength to jump. That's why we do the spiritual work. The purpose of the spiritual work, whether we are clearly understanding, as we do sometimes in the morning connection, or simply understanding that the reason I read the Zohar, I don't have to necessarily be going from Asiyah to Yetzirah, from Yetzirah to Bria, but that's the focus. I want that the light that I connect to as I read the Zohar to give me that push. I want the light that I'm connected to right now as I'm studying to give me the push, my soul to jump and to fly. Because what happens when you start touching those worlds? When you start touching those worlds, your blessing, you, and all of your blessings become 10 times more, 1,000 times more. That's the purpose of the spiritual work. That's the purpose of the spiritual work. To grow to these worlds, and again, whether you're conscious of them or not, but simply knowing that the purpose is to, as the ARI says, to jump and to fly. Because if I jump and I fly into these worlds, I'm able to expand all my blessings. Which means, and this should be something that you experience, that if you are focusing your spiritual work today, tomorrow, I open up the Zohar and I spend my half hour a day connecting to the light of the Zohar. What's my consciousness? I ask that the light that I am revealing gives my soul and my mind the strength to jump higher. The world of Yetzirah, the world of Bria, the world of Atzilut, wherever it can jump from this booster that it gets. And for what purpose? Yosef Hashem alechem kachem elef pa'amim. I want everything about my life, everything about my soul to become 1,000 times greater. And it is, right? Because that's important to understand. We're not asking for somebody to give me a blessing. The blessing that I have now already is 1,000 times greater in the realm of Atzilut. I'm just not connected to it. And the purpose of the spiritual work and why it's so important to desperately connect to the light of the Zohar, why it's so important to refrain from actions of ego that weight us down, why it's so important to push for greater and greater connection to the light of the Creator, because that becomes the rocket fuel that allows us to jump and to fly. And the effect of those jumps, of those flying, of that flying, is that everything about me becomes greater. You should be experiencing it. Now I want to end with, it's always, I think, inspiring for me, and for many of us, to receive meditations from the Kabbalists. There's many meditations that exist in the world, but when a meditation comes from the Kabbalists, you know that it is both pure and effective. Pure and effective. So, this meditation from Rabbi Chaim Vital, not coincidentally, again, this week that we have the revelation from Rabbi Chaim Vital, who will, of course, receive this from the ARI, this is a meditation to allow us to jump. Very important. Rabbi Chaim Vital wrote a book called the HAKADOSH, The Gates of Holiness. And it's interesting, but the history of it, a little bit interesting, is that there are parts of it that are general, and there's parts of the HAKADOSH that actually speak about how an individual can attain prophecy, how an individual can attain divine inspiration. And for many years, those parts of the book were literally ripped out and not published as part of the HAKADOSH. Very interesting. Anyway, this comes from the third section of the HAKADOSH, where again, Rabbi Chaim Vital is talking about how the soul can jump, how my soul, our soul can jump. And again, this is section Chelek Shlishi, the third section, chapter 8. And as I said, this is a pure Kabbalistic meditation. I strongly recommend that you try this and not just try it once. As Rabbi Chaim Vital says, try it again and again and again, and B'ezrat Hashem, you will see the benefits of it. And we know in just also reading the words of Rabbi Chaim Vital gives us the strength to really make this connection, to use this meditation as it should be. When you are preparing yourself to receive divine inspiration, now we understand divine inspiration actually represents a jump from Asiyah to Yetzirah, from Yetzirah to Bria, from Bria to Atzilut. And again, the effect of these jumps, if you are able to achieve them, and we're all able to achieve them to some degree, is a broadening of the essence of your blessings. Yikanes bevayit yechidi, person should enter a room by him or herself. B'makom shelo yatridu kolot bnei adam, in a place where you won't be able to hear anybody else speaking or any other noises. ואם יהיה אחר חצות יותר נכון לכל הדברים, and if you're able to do this after midnight, it's even better, it's even more powerful. ויסגור עיניו, and you have to close your eyes. ויפשוט מחשבתו מכל ענייני העולם הזה, and you have to separate your mind from all physical thoughts, from all thoughts of this physical world. כאילו יצא נפשו ממנו. A person should envision that his or her soul has left his or her body. It is no longer a part, no longer connects to the physicality of this world. אחר כך יתאמץ ויתחזק בחשק אמיץ להרהר בעולם העליון. And then he says, and these words are important, you have to try hard, become strong with desire, with great desire, to think about the supernal world, which basically for most of us simply would mean to see light. But it also means if you can think about, what the realm of Atzilut might be, what the realm of Bria the experience of it, because of course it's not a physical being, or the world of Yetzirah, or even the world of Asiyah, the higher realms of Yetzirah. Leharher ba'olam ha'elyon, to think about what that experience would be in the supernal worlds. Ulehitabek sham b'shoshei nishmato, and to try to attach yourself, because by the way, wherever you go, you're going to be going to the source of your soul. You're going to go to what we spoke about before, your essence 1,000-fold. So really what you're doing through this is not so much to the upper worlds, you're going to your part of the upper worlds, your soul 1,000 times, your soul 100 times. But again, read these words, le'arher ba'olam ha'elyon, to think about what the experience of the supernal world is, ulehitabek sham b'shorshei nishmato, and to attach yourself to the source of your soul, whether in the world of Yetzirah, where it's 10 times greater, whether in the world of Bria, where it's 100 times greater, where in the world of Atzilut, where it's 1,000 times greater. Ubeorot elyonim, and it's supernal light. So as we said before, if you have trouble coming to understand what that experience might be, you simply see light, and the thought is I am attaching myself to supernal lights, higher lights than where I am. V'yidameh be'atzmo ki'ilu yatsa nafsho ve'alta lemala, and you should envision as if your soul has left your body and entered into these upper worlds. And you should envision these supernal worlds as if you're in totality residing there now, standing there now. And if there's some specific meditation, by the way, so you can even think about Ala B'Koach in this moment. You can think about the first line, or whatever day it is, or whatever, any meditation that you have, that you want, you can actually think about it then. And to have the desire that through this meditation that I am now in the upper world, and I am thinking about, let's say, the Tetragrammaton, or even thinking about the Aleph Bet Gimel, Yutaf Tzadik, or any other meditation that you're thinking about, but I'm now residing in the higher realms, making this connection, and I'm asking the real purpose of this connection is to draw down light to the lower worlds. And also meditate that after all the worlds receive their light, I also receive of that light. It's very interesting. So that's, again, I know this might be a little complicated, so the good thing is it's recorded, it's on Kabbalah.com, so you'll be able to watch this endlessly. But then there's a second part, which is very important not to forget, that he says, after you've experienced that, it could be 1 second, it could be 5 seconds, it could be an hour. The Kabbalists would do it for 18 hours, but that's not for most of us. After you've experienced that, you've seen, and again, this won't happen the first time and probably not the 10th time. But if you stick to this meditation, the Rabbi Chaim Vital promises, eventually you'll have this experience. But afterwards, after you finish this meditation, you stay for a while, knowing with certainty that an additional level has come to you. You might not have gone all the way up to Atzilut and been able to draw down 1,000 times of who you are, but you have to experience, you have to know after finishing this process, this meditation, that you have, as he says, you have to experience after having gone to the supernal worlds. Maybe there was a meditation I used, maybe I just simply connected to the light that exists in the higher realms. I ask that light comes down to all the worlds, to all the people, and then I receive my part. After you finish that, however long that takes, you then, very important, you then have to stop after you finish this connection, after you finish this meditation, see the part, could be small or great, no matter what, but have the certainty that's an additional part of my essence, which is, 1,000 times greater than what I am in the world of Atzilus, has come now to reside upon me. And now if I'm not 1, I'm 1.5, I'm 1.1, maybe, and so on. And he says, and even if you don't, he says, you do this again and again and again. Keep doing this meditation, Rabbi Chaim Vital says, until you will merit that the additional parts begin resting upon you. Beautiful meditation, powerful meditation. Try it again, and you will see the benefits of it. But again, not maybe necessarily the first time or the 10th time. But as I said, when you learn a meditation from one of the great Kabbalists, here we're talking about Rabbi Chaim Vital, the great student of the ARI, of Isaac Luria. This is, of all the meditations you might or might not do, this is one that you want to keep going back to again and again and again, especially because we said, especially this week, we understand the purpose of our spiritual work is to fly, to jump. To jump where? To jump to the higher realms where my essence is revealed even greater. And through that jumping, I become greater, my blessings become greater. Yosef Hashem alechem kachem elef pamim. Ultimately, what is my purpose in this world? To use the spiritual tools, to use the Zohar, to use the connections, to use this meditation we just spoke about, to touch those higher realms, to go there with my consciousness so that I can experience here, bring back here 1,000 times. And until you are 1,000 times greater than you came, until your blessings are 1,000 times greater than they have been, you haven't completed the purpose for which you came into this world. B'ezrat Hashem, we all have the merit to accept, know, understand, and use these tools so that B'ezrat Hashem, as Moses directs us on this Shabbat, Yosef Hashem alechem kachem elef pamim, may our essence, our blessings, all of our being continue to grow until it is 1,000 times at least greater than it is now.